It's always the spur of the moment. Oh, let me just take a quick little video and just post it. Me shaking my head. Click, 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 done. And then that's the one that goes. I'm like, so what am I planning out all this?
Welcome to the intersection of being and becoming, a Black Girl Digital podcast. On this podcast, we'll discover together the intimate journey of being an influencer while becoming your best self and building a successful brand. Here's your host, Latoya Shambo.
Welcome to the intersection of being and becoming, a Black Girl Digital podcast. On this podcast, we'll discover together the intimate journey of being an influencer while becoming your best self and building your successful brand. Each week, we'll deliver an intimate conversation with some of your favorite Black and Brown creators and influencers, uncovering lessons learned on their journey and more. I'm your host, Latoya Shambo, founder and CEO of Black Girl Digital, a premium influencer marketing agency designed to help marketers reach the Black audience. On this episode, we have the pleasure of connecting with girlfriend Ariel Wilson. How are you feeling today? And thank you so much for joining us.
I am feeling so good and I am so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me to be on the podcast. Honestly, I'm just ready to share and just be honest and open and, just kind of tell you guys about my journey and, all the success I've had and all the highs and lows that I faced being a Black creative and a female Black creative in this social media world. So
yes, to highs and lows.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. So I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back a little bit. I did a tiny little research. I don't know all of you, but I just wanted to start here really quickly. Not everyone is on Twitter, but you did tweet on June 9th. Yeah. And I quote, yeah, you make money, but you're unhappy as fuck. Is that success to you? End quote.
I tweeted that.
Yes. If you can remember why, what was the thought process behind that?
I don't know. I really do not remember tweeting that. But if I did, honestly, it probably was frustrations from just not being paid what I'm owed on time, basically. So I feel like a lot of brands, like when you're a creative, a lot of brands, I feel like they take their time with giving you payment, whereas they want their content on this date at this time. If it's late, then the contract is void, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's not reciprocated when it comes to paying. Once you have your content, why am I waiting 30 days? Or why do I have to wait an extended period of time when you guys got your content right away? So it's just being frustrated and then being told a certain date and having to wait even longer. That's really some of the
interesting
problems I've been facing lately, especially this summer. I've noticed that I have not been paid on time. Like the money's, it's come in, but just not when I was expecting it to, or at the urgency I would have liked it to have come through.
Right. So basically a brand will void your contract if you are delayed in delivering, but if they're delayed in payment when you deliver on time, there's no repercussion.
Yeah, it's like as an influencer, how are you supposed to, I guess, set your boundaries with such a major corporation or brand? You know what I'm saying?
When they're giving you the opportunity.
Yeah. So, there's always like give and take. And that's what I mean kind of with like highs and lows is that, yes, there's highs. I get to definitely, be creative, work at my own pace. I get to work with these major brands that are like dreams, but also just having those, there's always like baggage with everything. Even when you're living your dreams and doing, what you want to do, there's hard moments and there's just things that you didn't expect to happen, or, things might not flow as easily as you thought they would.
Got it. Heard you, girl. Ooh, we got deep right 5 minutes into
that's what that tweet was about. Okay.
Well, that was that. Heard you.
Yeah, and I think like I've faced these frustrations, but I've also talked to other women who are, if not just as talented, even more talented than me, or just like being amazing creatives and being really on their hustle. And they talked about, the struggles of just having to wait and like, what is the holdup? You know what I'm saying? So
we're going to have to circle back around on that point. Because there is definitely some tea in there. I want you to circle back around on and sip a little bit. But before that, let's go back and really talk about the growth of your community. So on Instagram, you have 64,000 followers.
Yes.
Come on now. Okay. Yes. On YouTube, you have 33,000 followers. Let me not take away that 800,000 because that means something. The 800 rather. So 33,800 followers on YouTube. And over, you said, is it 3 million views?
Yes.
Look at that. 3 million views
total. Yes.
Over 3 million views. Now, while the other platforms, you're on all the platforms, but Instagram and YouTube are definitely your stronger platforms. I will say on Pinterest, I did notice that you average about 700,000 views.
Yes, Pinterest actually is very surprising. And the thing is, I'm not even as consistent on Pinterest. And that's just, I was like, let me just see, like, because it wasn't like, oh, I'm super interested in Pinterest. I was like, let me just throw some photos up. Might as well. I'm already posting on Instagram, YouTube, and then Instagram automatically posts to Facebook. So it's like, let's see what happens. And that's actually built up a little following. So I have about almost 1,000 followers on there now. So yeah.
Yeah, I think people sleep on Pinterest. I think Pinterest is definitely a great traffic driver for creators, especially the ones on YouTube. Good for you.
And everyone always asks me, they're like, I see you on Pinterest, your pictures. I'm like, yes, I know.
Doing the damn thing. Yes, good for you. So now, which platform would you say has been the most challenging for you to establish, maintain, and grow your community base?
Ooh, okay, so I think, that's a really good question because there's a difference between just the Instagram growth and the YouTube growth. And so I think YouTube definitely has been more of a struggle because I feel like in my earlier videos, I was so young, I didn't really know how to connect to an audience. Whereas now I'm implementing like more personality and, more things that my followers actually want to see. And so my community is growing now. But earlier, my videos were more so like very, this is how you do hair. 1, 2, you know what I'm saying? Rather than like, hey y'all, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Your personality grew.
Yeah, so it grew on YouTube. My personality grew with it too. And so now I'm really seeing a reflection in my numbers and my engagement. Whereas Instagram, I feel like, pictures have their own interpretations, and pixtures, when people see a pretty picture, they're like, oh my gosh, like they kind of create their own, what is it? I guess they just have this own perspective of you. So you grow a little bit quicker because, a photo is worth 1,000 words. So yeah, Instagram was a lot quicker with the growth. I think before Instagram started switching up their algorithms, I really had a good pace going. Yeah, a really good pace going, which is also sort of like one of those highs and lows of being an influencer and a creative, is rolling with the changes of social media and the engagement and how far they'll push your content, how your content used to perform versus how it's performing now, and just seeing the difference. And so, yeah, I think earlier on my Instagram was a whole lot easier to grow because the engagement was, or the algorithm was just fantastic for everybody.
Yeah.
But now they've kind of put those restrictions on there where they want you to buy exposure, that Facebook marketing type of structure. So, they limit your content to only like 6% of your followers or somewhere like that. And so I've definitely seen a reflection just posting my content, and it kind of makes you feel like as a creative, like, if platforms aren't going to show it to my people, then what do I have the people here for? Like, what am I posting for? Just for only 6% of my 64,000 to see, So it's like, I kind of have to choose. It just makes things difficult, and it kind of makes you ask yourself, like, is it worth it? I'm putting all this time and energy into creating and making these amazing creations. Of course, you think it's amazing because you made it, and then you post it and it's like going nowhere. So
thanks for joining us this week on The Intersection of Being and Becoming, a Black Girl Digital podcast. If you like what you just heard and found the info helpful, we hope you'll pass along our podcast to your friends and colleagues. And please leave us a positive review on iTunes. While you're at it, if you or a brand you know is in need of influencer marketing services, please pass along our website, www.blackgirldigital.com. That would help us out too.